Gervonta Davis KOs Yuriorkis Gamboa.
Oh no.
Welcome back, people. Welcome to the Fight World, your home for combat sports talk and analysis. Now, this is a brand new YouTube channel. If you like fighting, if you like combat sports, if you like mixed martial arts, UFC, Bellator, boxing, the Zone, Showtime Sports, if you like glory, kickboxing even, please show the channel some support and love and subscribe and ring that bell. Do not forget to ring that bell. We will be uploading videos weekly, multiple videos. Sometimes if we can get an opportunity to upload more, we will. And so if you clicked on this video will be about the Gervonta Davis Tank, aka Tank, versus Yuriorkis Gamboa, the veteran, the Olympic veteran. It was a great fight. They fought in I believe in Atlanta and State Farm Arena, and Davis was 23-0 with 22 KOs, and Gamboa was 30-3 with 18 KOs. And let's be honest, this is an aging Gamboa. He, I believe, was 38 years old. Tank is a real young guy, young champion, young dog, young lion. And, the odds were against Gamboa. I do remember them talking pre-fight about Tank fighting Gamboa in the Mayweather boxing gym in I believe they call it a dog pound or something like that, when they all get in the ring and they just fight a bunch of different boxers and they keep coming and there is no end limit until somebody quits. It's this thing that they do in the Mayweather gym, and he was doing that to Tank, and this was, I believe, pre-champion Tank, when he was even younger than he is now. And Tank fought Gamboa, and not supposed to be talking about sparring sessions, but legend has been told that Tank pretty much wiped the floor with Gamboa, and Gamboa's trainer had to pull him out of there. So that was just a little inkling to the lead up to the fight. Like I said, plus you got Gamboa. He's way older. He's basically nowhere near the same as he was when he came out of the Olympics. So the consensus is we expected Tank to get him out of here. And funny thing is, I was looking at a lot about the post-fight analysis of different boxers, and they actually didn't give Tank a lot of credit in this win. They kind of basically thought he should have got him out of there sooner. If you listen to the commentary, Paulie Malignaggi, and I love Paulie, but he was giving Tank a real hard time, saying that it wasn't the same Tank, and saying that he was tired. And I couldn't tell if he was tired or if he was just trying to figure Gamboa out. And Gamboa is a wily veteran, and it's not as easy as it looks. So I couldn't tell. But one thing is, he did miss weight, so that was getting me concerned on whether or not he was out of shape, or whether or not he took the fight seriously or not. Then the 12th round came. I mean, before that, he dropped him twice before that, but the 12th round knockout was bad. Now, we all saw Gamboa's injury. In the fight, they talked about an equipment injury. They thought it was a malfunction with his shoe. And I believe that's what he even said in the corner. Come to find out, I will show you a post-fight interview later on in this video. Stay tuned, do not skip. And Gamboa talks about an Achilles injury he had. So it looks like the shoe was fine, and his Achilles was actually the problem. That's why he was buckling so much on that foot. So, I thought that Tank would have gotten him out of there sooner myself. Gamboa did say also, I will show you in his post-fight interview, he was talking about what would have happened if he didn't have an injury. He had an Achilles tear, it looks like, and it took Tank 12 rounds to get him out of there. A hurt fighter, an aging fighter. So that is an interesting question to pose. What would have happened if Gamboa was fully healthy during the whole fight? And, would he have gotten knocked out? Would he have maybe edged out a decision? Would it have been a draw? Who knows? That's an interesting way to look at things. So I do see what some of the boxing vets and some of the fighters were talking about, but at the same time, you know, this is Tank's grand entrance into the lightweight division, and you know, he knocked Gamboa out, injury or not, and he won the belt. So we do have to give him credit for that. Tank adds another belt to his collection. He gains the WBA lightweight belt, and you know, he's in the talks. He's in the talks. You know, I hear Lomachenko often. I hear Devin Haney. Devin Haney is another one of my favorites. I will be doing a couple of videos on him if you guys like the young fighters. And also I will make a video on, there's many stories about Devin Haney and Tank fighting in the Mayweather gym. If you don't know, Devin Haney was trained by Floyd Mayweather Sr. when he was coming up, when he was real young, when he was basically a young teenager. And you know, off and on, he goes to the Mayweather gym, and as you know, Tank is Floyd's fighter, so they have sparred many times in the past. Won't give any spoilers on that, you gotta wait for that video. But you know, Lomachenko, I don't know if he's ready for that. Lomachenko might be a little bit much. He might need a little bit more seasoning before you throw him in there with Loma. You know, I think that Devin Haney and him would be an interesting fight, but I like for them to, and the promoters and the managers, to wait and let those two young lions develop. Let them pad their record a little bit more. Let them gain a few more belts, and then throw the big fight, you know, in the future. No reason for one of them to lose now. So I do like that fight for the future. I hear Tevin Farmer, that's another one. And if I see a Tank versus Tevin Farmer fight, I'm going for Tank. I think Tank could get him out of there. Tevin Farmer is a wily good fighter. He's very smart. But I think Tank would eventually catch him. Same way he just caught Gamboa. That uppercut was mean. Jesus. Let's just show that uppercut right now. Wow. That uppercut was nasty. It was nasty. And credit to Gamboa. Gamboa stayed in there the whole fight. Think about what kind of fighter stays in there with a torn Achilles. Well, we don't know if it's torn yet, but we know it's injured, but it's most likely torn. Probably needs surgery, especially at his age. Not a good injury to have at that age. But what kind of man, what kind of fighter, what kind of warrior stays in there with a torn Achilles, fighting a guy like Tank, an animal knockout puncher like Tank, a young lion like Tank, and you stay in there with a torn Achilles? You know, most guys would have quit. I believe most guys would have quit. They wouldn't have risked the health consequences on staying in there, injured. And not just any injury. That's one of the worst injuries you can have in a fight. Any sporting event really, but especially in a fight. You know, a fight has dire consequences. It's not an NBA game. You're not just going to miss a shot. You could get killed. You could get severely injured. So, you know, as they say, you don't play fighting. You play other sports, you don't play fighting. So let's go ahead and look into some Twitter comments on some of what the fighters were saying post-fight, on their thoughts on what happened. And let's see here. We have Russ Anber. He's the CEO of Rival. Rival, you know, they make gloves, they make lots of different accessories. It's a big company. And he says, the courage Gamboa is showing is inspiring. Badly injured and absorbing some bombs, and light years removed from his prime, he is still trying his best. As for Davis, let's just say I'm about to vomit. Wow. Whoa. What's up with the haterade? All right, Hank Lundy. He's I believe another lightweight fighter. Man, take his little ass back to 130. 135, we big boys up here. So he's throwing some shade to Tank there. And I will just say this, I do know Hank Lundy. I've seen several of his fights. Good, decent fighter. A little bit of a tank himself, but if Tank fights him, Hank Lundy will get knocked out. He'll get knocked out before round 6. I guarantee it. So, you know, I don't know what Hank Lundy's talking about. Devin Haney, one of my favorite young up-and-comers. He says front runner. So he's throwing Tank as the front runner in the division. Looks like he wants to set up a fight there. Terrence Crawford says, stay away from Vasyl Lomachenko and real Devin Haney. Wow. So Terrence Crawford is not impressed with Tank's performance. I guess he believes that Lomachenko and Haney will wipe the floor with him. That's interesting. Ryan Garcia, another one of my favorite young up-and-comers. Davis is tired and Gamboa is old. Wow. These guys are just, they're not pulling any punches here. Ishe Smith, he's a ex-Mayweather fighter. I don't believe he's with the promotion anymore, but he was with the gym for a very long time. He says Tank's winning every round, but not the performance I was expecting. Love the kid, but he needs to make some major changes if he wants to last in a game. Should have happened 6 rounds ago. Interesting. Ishe Smith tweets again, his power will always be a game changer. The only person that can beat Tank is Tank himself. I'm going to stand by that. So he seems to go along with the reasoning that Tank, like what Paulie was saying in the telecast, he's kind of saying that Tank was out of shape and didn't take it seriously. Maybe there was some of that. I don't know. It's tough to tell. I mean, he really didn't gas out. He wasn't throwing a lot of punches as we're used to seeing, but he didn't really gas out. He never did gas out. So it's tough to tell if, his missing weight was actually from not training correctly, or maybe mismanagement of his eating habits, or who knows. It's tough to tell. Sergio Mora says, I was more impressed with Gamboa's heart than Tank's ability tonight. Learning experience for the young undefeated champ. So Sergio Mora, another fighter not impressed. Wow. I mean, I think we got to give Tank a little bit of slack here, guys. Kid's very, very, very young. He's undefeated. He's like Deontay Wilder in a sense where he almost has a 100% knockout ratio. It's disgusting. It's like over 90-something%. And he knocked out another fighter. I mean, yeah, he was injured, but at the end of the day, he got the knockout. And I don't know. I just think that they're being a little bit too harsh. Just a little bit too harsh. All right, so let's get into the post-fight interviews with the seconds out. We're going to credit them. And they're interviewing Gamboa and Tank. Let's go to Gamboa's interview first and see what Gamboa says.
Power of Davis was going to be overwhelming. When he dropped you initially, was his power more than you had anticipated or less?
He dropped him because he had he couldn't stand right. He had his foot broken.
Can we get a shot of the foot?
Since the second round, he has no support on that leg. He's literally fighting on one leg.
So what is the injury?
¿Qué es lo que te pasó? His Achilles broke.
Your Achilles tendon is snapped in the second round? You fought 10 rounds with a snapped Achilles? With the win tonight, getting another title around your waist, what was the most significant element of tonight? The packed crowd, the title, the way you won?
The way I won, I want to say, great. I mean, not a great performance, but okay performance. Packed house, been in there going 12 rounds with a experienced fighter like Gamboa that everybody wrote off, but I didn't. I knew I was coming in for a fight. He showed that he's a champion. He didn't come this far for nothing.
You say okay performance. One thing you would have changed tonight if you could go back and change it?
Probably touch him, throw more punches, but everybody probably thought I was tired, but that's not the case. I was touching him up, and when I was touching him up, I didn't want to gas out, so I was touching him up, and once you know that you can't knock somebody out, you don't keep continuing to throw hard shots. So that's what I was doing, and his game plan was to tire me out. They said that they wanted to go to deep water, so I didn't want to get tired, and I can't come back if he, retaliate and things like that.
Congratulations on getting another win, another title around your waist. We'll see you again in 2020. Radio Raheem with Gervonta Tank Davis.
So as you just saw, Yuriorkis Gamboa's foot was all wrapped up in a cast. Looks like a devastating injury. And like I said before, what a warrior to continue to fight like that and to put his health at risk. knowing that he has a devastating injury and a knockout puncher in front of him. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So kudos to Yuriorkis Gamboa for staying in there and hanging in there like a man. And as far as Davis goes, you saw his post-fight interview, and he he says, you know, he did okay. He says he could do a lot better. And, you know, I guess that's echoing what some of the boxers were saying, even though I thought that they were hating a little bit extra, putting a little bit extra sauce on there. I don't know why. Maybe they have something against him. But he did say that he did okay and he didn't want to tire out. He did say that he was in shape, but he didn't want to tire out because he knew the plan was to take him in deep water. So he didn't want to, you know, throw a bunch of heavy punches in the beginning and then not have enough steam for later rounds. So, you know, I mean, all in all, it was a good fight, and we'll see where Tank goes from here. I think that there will be a lot of good fights for him in the future. Like I said, we have, you know, Loma, we have Haney, maybe Garcia. We have so many fighters, so we'll see what shapes up for him. Till the next video, guys. This is The Fight World. Please like, share, and comment down below. Give me your thoughts. And that's it. I'm out.